The essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an anemia, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Omari, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Amin. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4. We believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5. We believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6. We believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7. We believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8. We believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9. We believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10. We believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11. We believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12. We believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quasad Aton, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it, historians shall write of it. this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it. Young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it. Maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it. Pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I am your hostess with the mostest, Sister Ebony Stevenson, here at Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. That is worship spelled W-A-R-S-H-I-P. Please feel free to join us here at our location right here in Chicago, Illinois, in the Grand Crossing community at 616 East 71st Street. Today, we have a powerful lecture for you from one of our co-founders, Minister Omari, Aton, and the title of his lecture today is Understanding Death and the Path to Redemption. I want us to all stand to our feet and give a round of applause for our co-founder, Minister Omari Jahio Aton.
Thank you, Sister Ebony, for that introduction. All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Toma Nation's weekly worship service. I am the co-founder of the Temple of Mercy Association. My name is Minister Omari Jahio Aton. And along with our founder, who is Minister Rahim Kased Aton, and we're missing our slides, I see. And our First Lady, Sister Makita Aisha Aton. We are all-inclusive Black conscious righteous movement. And what does that mean? Toma's arms are open to receive our people, regardless of your religious persuasion. Atheists excluded. If you don't believe in God, there's no need in us even kicking it, because we're not even on the same page. So we are open to any religion that wants to come and worship with us. We're open. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Hebrew, it doesn't even matter to us. We have one of our members, is a Buddhist, and she's been with us for a long time. And she's very comfortable and loves what we teach here at Toma. So now, Black conscious, a lot of people don't understand what being Black conscious really is. And a lot of people think that we're just the opposite of white supremacists. We hate white people. It's all about Black. No, this is not what Black consciousness is. And when we say Black power, it's not, again, the opposite of white supremacy or Ku Klux Klan or skinheads or anything like that. It's not the opposite of that. And we Black, in contrast to them being white. No, what it means is we are conscious of the fact that Black people are being oppressed and have been oppressed since slavery. Our focus here at Toma is to find ways and means to expose those that are oppressing our people and rise to facilitate the methodology that we need in order for us to rise out of the condition that we find ourselves in. And there are many ways to accomplish this, but in Toma, we have 3 areas that we focus on: health, wealth, and the knowledge of self. Today's teaching will be under the area of mental and emotional health, because today's subject matter, as Sister Ebony stated prior to introducing me, is understanding death and the path to redemption. Understanding death, brothers and sisters. I believe God woke me up with this subject, because there are so many people on the planet, and I even have friends and relatives that are suffering from losing loved ones. They don't understand why this is happening. And then when these loved ones are young people, that's kind of unbelievable. You can't seem to fathom how can something like this happen. And then we might even ask the question, why does God allow something like this to happen? Today we're going to touch on a lot of this. And this is why death, understanding death is a part of my subject matter, but the other half of it we need as well, because there's a path that redeems us as children of God. You see, there's a path that we have to take. But that path, if we don't know that we're lost, then how can we actually be on a path of redemption until we realize and come to the reality that we are a lost people? So, death. A lot of us understand or have this understanding of death is this fictional character called the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper, boy. The Grim Reaper personifies death. And it's one of the ways that human beings have historically come to grips with our mortality. And the most recognizable embodiment of death itself is a dark, mysterious figure known as the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper traditionally looks like a skeleton wearing a black hooded cloak, a figure that holds a sight and is thought to escort departed souls to the afterlife. But who is the Grim Reaper, really? And who did the Grim Reaper imaginary, or where did the Grim Reaper imaginary figure come to represent? How did he come to represent death? Well, the Grim Reaper and the plague, see, an epidemiological event known as the Black Death. That's an event that took place in the 14th century, brothers and sisters. The Black Plague changed the way the average person viewed death in the 14th century. It was one of the deadliest pandemics in human history, killing at least 25 million people with just its first outbreak. And as the plague ravaged cities and countrysides alike, death came closer to the average person's life than ever before, lurking like an ever-present spirit. So today, the number of people in the United States who have died from COVID-19 surpassed 100,000. 100,000, brothers and sisters, reaching the milestone of 100,000 persons lost in such a short time frame is a sobering development and heartbreaking reminder of the horrible toll of this unprecedented pandemic. Before the Black Death and COVID-19, the death angel visited ancient Egypt during the time of Moses. Y'all remember the story of Moses when he went to Pharaoh and everything and said, let my people go, and plagued them with the locusts, and then there was frogs, and then the sea turned to blood. And the last thing that plague that Moses sent, well, God really sent, but that Moses asked God to send on to Egypt was the death angel. Now, before I get into the death angel, I want to speak a little bit about death. As I said earlier, a lot of us are experiencing, push it in the back, it's probably not plugged in, or the plug. Follow the plug and make sure it's plugged in at the base. Yeah. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. We have some technical difficulties. We're a little short-handed today. Usually I'm handling the tech part. Did you push it in? The cord that's connected. Hold up. Well, give me 1 second.
Oh, really? You talking about pushing it
In the back. There we go. All right, I'm back, y'all. Just had to fix, doing double duty today. Sorry about that. But I'm black. So death, y'all. See, one thing we have to understand about death is that we never die. I want you to understand what I mean when I say this. Now, you may not have heard any teaching like this before, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. And if you're on social media, you can question me. We got Ebony that's monitoring the social media. So if you have a question for me, I'm willing to answer your questions so you can get an understanding of this thing, because whether you know it or not, there's a catastrophe that is approaching. Well, no, I can't even say approaching. It's in the earth right now. And the death toll is going to be greater than COVID, greater than the Black Plague. And I said that was what, 25 million? And it was 100,000 as far as for the COVID-19. So something that devastating that's coming to a theater near you and I, we have to really be mentally and emotionally prepared for this kind of catastrophe and this kind of death that's going to be coming so close to home. You know, right now we're already experiencing it. You know, children dying, mother and father passing away at a young age young people just dying, period. Mass shootings. I mean, these things can have an emotional toll on us, brothers and sisters. So we have to really understand this thing called death if we're going to make it through this thing. Because if we keep the same understanding that we have, we're going to lose faith in God, because we can't comprehend as to why God would allow something like this to happen. But if you understand death is the wrong word to use in what really happens, because you and I, the real you and I that comes from God, is not flesh and blood. Flesh and blood, brothers and sisters, this is just a vehicle, like a car. You know how you get in your car and you go to the store? The only thing about this vehicle, when you get in, the only way you get out is for this to die, not you. Just like if you had a car accident, somebody ran you off the road, you hit a pole or whatever, you get out and thank God I didn't die. But your car is dead, it's done. This is what we go to funerals. We go to funerals to say goodbye to the image that you were getting around in, or the vehicle that you were getting around in this life in. But when you and I, let me say it right. When this vehicle no longer exists, when it no longer lives, you and I leave. Now, so what are you saying, brother minister? Are you saying that we're ghosts? No, I'm not saying we're ghosts. I'm saying that we are like God. Do you know that God created us so that we could have a form to get around in, so that we could, a part of his spirit can experience this thing called life? But you can't see God. A lot of you have been led to believe that this picture of this white person on the wall with long hair and buttermilk complexion, that's God. But it is not. Jesus himself told us that I only do that which pleases God. And then when he was baptized, there was a voice, and unless Jesus was a ventriloquist, there's a voice that came out of heaven. Now, I didn't make this up. This is in the Bible. There's a voice that came out of heaven and said, "This is my son in whom I am well pleased." Now, so that kind of gives you a distinction that there is a God that said, "This is my son." So now, son would indicate that he is a child, or God has claimed him. Just like we can have foster children or adopted children. They don't have to be of your blood, but you can still say, "This is my son." Why? Because I adopted him, right? So I know a lot of people be like, "But God didn't give birth to me." Yes, he did. He gave birth to each and every one of us. He sent us into this body to experience life as a human being. Now, brothers and sisters, this is going to get a little heavy, but y'all going to have to follow me. But when we die, we go back to God. Now, what are we really? And what is God? When the body's brain no longer cease to function, they consider the body dead or to die. They call it brain dead, right? They say that the throne of God, now this is in the Bible again, all you Bible scholars, y'all say amen to what I'm saying, because you know that I'm not lying. As soon as I start lying, I want you all to call me on the carpet. I told you, Ebony is monitoring the chats and the messages on Facebook and YouTube. All you got to do is send me a message. If you think I'm lying, you let me know, because we're gonna have a problem, because I know I'm not lying. But look, it says God's throne sits on water, and that lightning comes from the bottom of the throne. Now, anyone and I'm not, but because I've studied and I understand this, but anyone that is into biology and science, they understand and they know that this cloud-like image that they're speaking of is the human brain. The human brain is a grayish, it's a grayish dark matter, and it sits on water in your head. And out of it comes out of your brain electrical impulses that feed your nervous system, which allows you to have motion. You can move your hands and you can do all the things, walk and all of those things. That's operating from the brain. Now, it says that is God's throne. So that's where God sits. So that's where he resides. So what sits, or what mechanism do we use as how can I say it? How do we use our brain? When you think, when you have a thought, that is not the brain, that is you. You are thought. God is thought. Now, I know I can hear you done lost your mind, Brother Minister Omari. You need to go get you some help, because you talking some crazy stuff now. Well, let's reason together. So they tell us that God is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. How can that possibly happen? Now, let me show you how you are like God. If you close your eyes and think about the beach or the ocean, and the seagulls flying and the waves hitting the beach, the sound of the waves, the smell of the seawater. If you close your eyes and concentrate, you will be on that beach. So that means thought travels at 24 billion miles per second. So that means that your thought can take you anywhere in this galaxy, to the moon, to Mars. You can think your way anywhere, because this is your relationship, or the gift or the power that we have as God's children. So now, why am I saying all this? I'm saying this because when your loved one dies, so you think, because they really don't, when your loved one's vehicle dies and it no longer works anymore, usually when our car don't work, we take it to the junkyard, right? Get rid of it and get us a new car. Well, guess what? So do you. We've been here many times. But the thing is, when you come back, when the baby is born, the Spirit of God, which is you and I, when we enter a new vehicle, that vehicle, as a little baby, if it could talk based on everything that we know, it would just it would make people just be to the point to where they couldn't understand how something that little could know so much. So what happens is that there's a soft spot in the top of that baby's head, which is the umbilical cord that connects that newborn child to God. Just like there's a physical umbilical cord that connects the baby to the mother, there's a spiritual umbilical cord that connects that child, that newborn child, to God. And this is how you and I get back on the throne, is through that umbilical cord. God sends us back and we start this thing all over again, to the point to where when that soft spot in the baby's head gets harder to the point to where it's not soft anymore, that's when the baby begins to form language and it can speak. But now, when that happens, you lose all past memories. You don't remember who you were in past life. And the only flashes that you get is a thing that we as humans call deja vu. I've been here before. Wait a minute. I did this before. I've seen this. And we, for some reason, don't make the connection. We only think that's weird. There's something weird about it. It's not weird because you have been here before. You have seen this before. Your job as a spiritual being experiencing a human existence is to balance spirituality and humanity and gain and stay here long enough. This is the key part. You have to live long enough to remember what you forgot. A lot of people, they get in their 70s and 80s and they begin to remember, but they didn't take care of their body. So they cancel out real quick. But what if you were taking care of yourself, eating properly, thinking properly? You'll stay around. Back in the day, in the Bible days, they said we live to 900,000 years old. We happy if we make 100. We really underestimate ourselves. I mean, we don't really, because of how we've been taught to eat 3 meals a day. That's killing us. 3 meals a day. You know, can you imagine, just so you can kind of get a picture of what I'm saying here. If you fill your car up with gas, no, I won't even say gas. I'll say oil. You put oil in your car, right? And later on that day, you go and put some more oil in there. Then later on at night, you go in and put some more oil in your car. What's going to happen to your car? It's not going to run properly. It's not going to function properly at all. You're going to see white smoke coming out, black smoke coming out of your exhaust and all kind of crap, because that's not how you're supposed to maintenance that vehicle. Same with this vehicle. There's a maintenance book for it. How you take care of this thing. And in the book of Genesis, I'm gonna read it for you, because I know y'all don't believe, and I don't blame you, because Negroes been lying lately. There's a whole lot of lying going on in the name of righteousness. A lot of these preachers out here are representing what Jesus told us was going to be the sign of the end of days, which is those coming in my name saying that I am Christ, but are the synagogue of Satan. A lot of these preachers just businessmen with a collar. But look, he says, where is it here? Oh, hey, here we go. Here it is. Now, this is the Holy Bible, King James Version, chapter 2, verse 15. We're going to start at verse 15. And it said, the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden and dressed it, and to dress it and to keep it. So Adam, the man, was a gardener. That's his first job. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree in the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for the day that thou eat thereof thou shalt truly die. Now, he goes on, let me see, where is it? Okay. Oh, no. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, that's not it. Y'all give me a minute, I'm going to find it. Here it is. Now, this is chapter 2, verse, Genesis chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 7. It says, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground he made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Those were in the midst of the garden. And so now this is a point that I do want to make, but the one I'm looking for, oh, here it is. It's over here. It's in chapter 1. I'm sorry. It said, and this is chapter 1, verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. I'm going to read that again. It says, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, which means herbs is a part of maintaining this vehicle. It needs herbs. And then he says, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. So now fruit is another thing that this body needs to run properly. To you, this shall be for meat. Fruits, herbs, vegetables, all of these things are what this body needs in order to run properly and to be here long enough for you to remember what you forgot. So when our loved ones transition, which it should be the term that we use, stop using death. Stop saying my mama died, my father died, my son, my daughter died. They did not die. They transitioned from this plane of existence back to God. And if they did not learn the lessons of this life, then we have to come back and retake that course, life, all over again. Are you all following what I'm saying? See, if you understand this transition process, then you won't feel, how can I say, devastated when God removes someone from this plane of existence and transitions them back into the earth, because there's still some more things that they have to learn. Now, what are these things that God wants us to learn? It's a lot of stuff, but it kind of goes, now I have to go back to my lecture now, because if you understand that we are spiritual beings experiencing a human existence, then when the human flesh dies, we transition. If you understand that, then you will not be devastated by death again. And you need to understand that, because if you don't accept this understanding, then the death that's coming upon this planet real soon is going to wipe you out. Because emotionally and psychologically, this concept of death, that a person dies, and it's just really the body. When you go to the funeral home and the body's laid out there in the casket, that's not your loved one. That's just the car. Do we go to the junkyard when our car comes out? Do we go to the junkyard and lay flowers out on the car? Now, I know some of y'all say, well, you're being very, what's the word? That's the word. Thank you, sir. That's the word. You're being very unsympathetic. I'm not being unsympathetic. I'm trying to save you. See, emotion comes with this thing, this flesh. You and I, we are not emotional. Let me say that again. Emotion is not a thing that exists with God's. We are logical. For all my Trekkie friends out there, Mr. Spock. Logical. Thinkers. This is who we are. So when we experience slavery, some of us probably think, why would God put us through something like that? The emotional trauma, everything that we went through and everything. That's a whole nother lecture, but it deals with, again, transformation and transitioning, because this body is carbon-based. For all my science people, biology folks, y'all speak up for me. Amen me or something. But this is carbon-based. What does that mean? That every human being on this planet is comprised and made up of carbon. Now, what is carbon? Glad you asked. Carbon is that stuff you put in your barbecue grill for cookouts. Charcoal, that black chunk, that's carbon. Now, when you take carbon and you put it in the earth and you put it under extreme heat and pressure, it changes properties and it becomes something else. It crystallizes. Now, to give you an example of what I'm saying, how many of you have heard that God made us out of clay? Right? Yes, God made us out of clay, right? For those that are out there in Facebook land and in social media land, those of you that are potters, that make ceramic cats and ceramic pots and vases and things of that nature, what is the material that you heat up in the oven in order to get that thing that you mold and shaped into a bowl or into a cup or into a vase, what is that thing that you put into the oven to crystallize into this glass or vase? It's clay. So when you take clay and you heat it up, the properties change and it turns into some form of glass or crystal. What is that saying about you and me, brothers and sisters? It's saying that God has a plan for us. Slavery was not a means of punishing us as a people. It was a means of heating us up so that we can make our transition from human beings into what is called or what is known as a supreme being. Jesus was that example to us. He wanted to be the first example of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves on this planet in order to make that transition. Some people may even say that his crucifixion was that pressure that he went through in order to transition into that supreme being. That's another conversation because we don't teach that here in Toma. Jesus did not die on the cross. And see, and this is another thing. You got to know the truth because the scripture says, ye shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. Let me ask the question. If you are not free, then guess what? You don't know the truth. Now, who's to say what you're saying is the truth? Well, damn it, damn. You tried their stuff. When the devil told you this crap and interpreted this book to you, you didn't argue with him. You didn't say, why should I believe you? You believed it and you followed it. I'm saying, give us a shot. What you got to lose? We already jacked up as a people. We messed up. What do we have to lose? If you believe what we are teaching here today, what do you have to lose? I'm not asking you to believe in me, because I ain't nobody to believe in. But believe in God who inspired me to stand here today and say these things to you. Believe in him. And that means now that you have to, in order to escape, we have to take a page from the children of Israel in Egypt when the death angel presented itself in Egypt. And it came to Egypt to take every firstborn male. And the only way that you could escape or the death angel will pass your house over, it's almost sound like the Passover, don't it? He would pass you by. The only way was for you to have the blood of the lamb over your doorpost. Nah, we ain't even got no lambs in the hood. We can't go to Jewels or Aldi's and buy no lamb's blood. So how you gonna get lamb's blood to put over your doorpost? Because it's not actual, brothers and sisters. This story was not something that you had to actually do. It's a sign of something that you have to do. Now let's break it down. The blood of the lamb has another meaning for us today. We recognize the lamb as being Jesus the Christ. And today, having the blood over your doorpost has a different meaning today as well. Blood means life. You think I'm lying? Let me drain all your blood and then tell me how much life you're going to have left. Come on. Y'all, let me know. How much blood are you going to have if I drain all your blood out of you? You will be dead, right? So we can agree. Blood means life. This is life flowing through your body. If you get shot or stabbed or whatever, the devil have removed all the trauma centers from the hood. So now you got to go all the way to University of Chicago or what's that place over there on Ogden? No, that's a good one. Go to Northwestern. That's a good hospital, but you better get shot by Northwestern. Because if you get shot in Inglewood and they have to take you all the way there, you might bleed out before you get there. And then what happens when you bleed out and lose all of your blood? You lose your life. Not you. Still keep this in mind. This thing no longer exists anymore. If all the oil in your car was drained out and you driving your car with no oil, what happens? The engine locks up and you throw a ride, don't you? And it's over. Car dead. Ain't no fixing that. Same thing with you and I. Y'all stop. I know y'all love each other, but pay attention. The engine locks up. The brain stops, the heart stops, body's dead. You transitioned out. Because see, these eyes in our physical body, they like the windshield of a car. How many of y'all saw the movie, what's that movie? Independence Day with Will Smith. Y'all remember that movie? Will Smith caught one of the aliens, right? And they make him look Predator and all them. We'll have another conversation about that. But anyway, he catches this alien. He takes it to the governmental base and everything. They have it in the room. And the thing opens up. If you remember, it was behind this glass. And it opens up and this little bitty thing was in there. It's like a little bitty alien inside of the big alien, right? It was the thing that was really controlling the big alien. This little bitty thing that was inside of him, if you all saw the movie. I'm saying the same thing about you and I. The real you and I is inside controlling this thing. But what has happened is that because the thing that feeds the real you is truth and righteousness and fruits, vegetables, and herbs, those are the things that feed the real you. If you deprive that of it and you feed the flesh, you know how we feed the flesh? With meat, alcohol, drugs. We grease it up, like you do your car. Let me shine up my car. Let me armor all the tires, Let me put some bling on it. We make the car look good. And you get in there in some raggedy tennis shoes, holes in your jeans and everything like that, but the car look good. See, that's what's happening with us. We are malnutritioned because we are not being fed the truth. We are not being fed, or we're not eating or consuming righteousness. The food of the gods. We are not consuming those things. And we have been taught to eat the wrong things 3 times a day. Check this out. What do they call the first meal of the day? Break fast, right? Fasting is a good thing for you and I, the real us, fasting. Because you give this body a chance to naturally detox and cleanse itself. It has a natural cleansing process, and your intestines have a lot to do with that. So getting a colon cleanse and cleansing out your kidneys and your lungs, we have to do that today because of the improper foods that we eat. So when we break our fast, we are eating when in our actuality, we are supposed to be fasting and detoxing. Yes. You do it when you sleep naturally. But when you wake up, you're not supposed to be eating. And so the devil, he went on ahead and tried to give you a hint as to what he was making you to do, so that if you ever figured it out and you exposed him of it, he can always say, well, I told you what it was. Break fast. You know, because this is what the devil does. He says, I can't make you do nothing. I just suggested. You know, they suggest with the media. You know, they show you a nice big old stack of pancakes with the syrup dripping all off of it, and the bananas and all the stuff all on it, and the nice eggs. They make it look all good and everything, and the ham. Ooh, please don't eat ham. But they do that. You know, and then we run our butts out there because we want to be like them so bad. We want to eat like them. We want to have the status that they have in society. And so we think in order to get where they are, we have to do what they do. This is what we believe for some reason in our minds. And so the more we act like white people, which is what black people are right now. Black people are more white than, I call us Oreo cookies. You know, black on the outside, white on the inside. But this is not by chance, brothers and sisters. We have been conditioned to think like this. Back in the day, they used to have a TV show. It was called The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, with Leach. I think his name was Robin Leach. Yes, sir. Robin Leach. Y'all can look it up on YouTube. It's still out there. And this was the devil introducing the white man's lavish lifestyle to black people so that we could envy white people. And then we'll begin to say to ourselves, why can't I have a house like that? Why can't I drive a car like that? Why can't I have a drip like that? And then we begin to try to do it the right way. We try to get us to go to the bank and get a loan so we can open up a business and do things the right way. And what happens? They kick you in the teeth. Loan denied. Loan denied. Sorry, you don't have enough collateral. I'm trying to get the loan to get some collateral. So it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. So they only leave you the options because they teach you this too. The Untouchables, all these crime stories that they put on TVs and in the movies to teach you to do crime. New Jack City, perfect example. Teach you how to be a drug dealer. Teach you how to cook crack. Teach you Cheech and Chong, teach you how to properly roll a blunt. See, they've been teaching us to be like them forever. It's called, they did it, the Borg did it on Star Trek. A simulation. No, that's what it's called. It's a simulation. They are simulating. See, the Borg, if you're a Trekkie, you know what I'm talking about. The Borg assimilates you, your memory, your gifts, your talents into the collective. This is what the white man is doing. He is assimilating us into him. So when we go to his schools and his universities and we get his master's degree, then he has assimilated us into himself. Now he's safe, or you, I should say, you are safe now to be a part of his world, because you are now going to help him build his world, and you don't give a damn about your people because you want to sing the song that the white man taught you to sing. Well, I put my boots on one, I strap my boots up one boot at a time, and I pull myself up by my bootstraps and this and another. I took advantage of the opportunities that is presented for me, and I made myself successful. You know, no, you didn't make yourself successful. You sold out. You may not known you were selling out, but you know now. Now you got a degree from the master. You need to use your knowledge, your wisdom that this white man gave you, that he stole from us, by the way, and bring it back to this black community and build up our community so that we can be on equal legging and ground as this Caucasian. I was about to say something else. We got to put the blood of the lamb on our doorposts, brothers and sisters. That means the life of Jesus. How did Jesus deal with situations? What was his thought processes? This is the blood of the lamb. If you don't think like Christ, the death angel will be visiting you soon. Just mark my words. You ain't got to believe me. I remember when we were located in Inglewood on 79th and Hermitage. Minister Raheem, our founder, had shared with us that there was a storm coming. This is what he called it. This had to be like early 2000. No, it had to be like 2018, 14, 15, something like that. Right. He was saying that there was a storm coming and that we in the temple had to, and he used this terminology. I remember it. He said we have to circle the wagon train. If you ever watch Westerns, you know when the white man was under attack by the so-called Indians, that they would circle their wagon trains around in a circle so that the Indians would be outside of the circle and they could be on the inside shooting out and killing the Indians as they rolled around in the circle, right? The Minister Raheem told us we need to circle our wagon train because there's a storm coming and we need to have each other's back, right? We didn't understand what he meant by that. And some 5 years later after that, and we've always said he always see things 5 years in advance. 5 years later, COVID hit. If we understand, beloved, that in order to escape death, it deals a great deal with how you think. Now, I know there's some retarded Negroes out here that's going to take what I'm saying with the understanding of, well, hell, if I ain't gonna never die, then I ain't got to worry about it. I can just go out here and rob me a couple of banks, you know, and if I get shot up, then I just come back 10 years, 20 years later, and I'll be better at it. Retard, shut up. I am not talking to you. You go ahead and believe in death and let him come visit you. I ain't even talking to you. I'm talking to people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired of this crap that's going on in our communities, in our life. I'm sick and tired of the life that we're living. If you sick and tired, then I'm talking to you. I ain't talking about these slick niggas out here trying to get over on people. You just hurry up and die. Ooh, I guess they're gonna kick us off Facebook now. Because I'll be in Facebook jail after this because I said niggas should die. You know, they locked my wife up in Facebook. They put her in Facebook jail because she said that these kids out here need their butt whooped. How do you get in Facebook jail writing a post that says kids should get their butt whoops for what they're doing? The craziness that they're doing out here, they should get their butt whooped. And Facebook put you in jail. Then you got niggas out here saying GD and F the police and F this and F that and kiss my this. You got people on B. You better not let me catch you, B. Don't be lacking. You got people out here. They don't get in jail. They still out here doing their thing. So what is that telling you about social media? This stuff is not your friend, brothers and sisters. If you are a child of God, Facebook ain't your friend, Twitter ain't your friend, YouTube is not your friend. These are mechanisms of Satan. Apple is not your friend. Oh, I know they're gonna get rid of me now. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna warn you, Facebook, because you don't seem to understand what's really going on. God is on his way back. I'm gonna say it again. God is on his way back, and he has inspired me and other men and women like me who believe in him and his righteousness to stand up. You come against me and those like me, you will receive the wrath of God. I'm just letting you know, I dare you to put me in Facebook jail. I said it. Put me in Facebook jail and see what happens. See, this is the problem. We too damn scared of these white folks. They ain't got no juice. God is God, not them. I only got 15 minutes, so I got to get to this last point that I want to make. You was right, Minister Joshua. This is going to be. Now, I want to move to 21. I'm going to move to slide 21 because I want to talk about the resistance. See, we have to resist this, brothers and sisters. You can't keep saying, I'm tired, or I'm sick of this, or this ain't right. And that's all you do. But there's no resistance. I'm calling today for a resistance movement. We want to resist. Gandhi called it non-cooperation. If you didn't know who Gandhi was the man that inspired Dr. Martin Luther King to initiate his nonviolence movement. King studied Gandhi. And so we are resisting. And if you are like me, you need to resist. And you need to be a part of this resistance movement 2023. We're producing some t-shirts, y'all. I'm going to be the first one to buy one. It says, I'm down. I can't see that far. I'm down with the resistance movement 2023. And then on the back of the shirt, there are 21 what we call moral values. You see, because we got to get back to being moral people. We got to be moral, which means that we have to begin to exemplify certain moral characters, such as, I'm going to read the 21 moral virtues that's on the back of this shirt. Honesty, respect, responsibility, caring, cooperation. Well, I'm gonna stay there because I'm running out of time. But Wednesday, we're gonna continue this. 7 p.m. this coming Wednesday, we're gonna continue it. And if we don't finish it then, we're gonna be back here next Sunday, with a part 3 and a part 4 if we don't. We're gonna keep going until we finish this, right? But this resistance is not a thing that's just something that we're creating today. There has always been resistance. I spoke earlier about my Trekkie friends. If you were into Star Trek or Star Wars, if you remember the TV series or the movies, they were a resistance. They were resisting the evils. You gonna show my slides? Ebony back there, she enjoying the lecture. She forgets she's working. Star Trek, Star Wars. You know, then you had the Terminator, the resistance. They were resisting against the machine, right? Who? There you go. Resistance. Then we had 3 more movies. These are some of my favorite, but there were more, but these are some of my favorite ones. Demolition Man. My favorite of all is The Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman. If you've never seen this movie, I suggest you get it. Go on, I think it's probably on Netflix. Watch it on Netflix. This movie is the epitome of what we are dealing with today, because it deals with how this white man has us all under surveillance 24/7. We're not, see, I ain't gonna go there because a lot of us we'll get so paranoid, we'll start taking a bat to our TV, laptop, everything. You know, we smashing our phone up against the wall. They following me. They watching me. Oh, no. Negro, just stop being a nigga and you ain't got to worry about them. So what, they watch you? If you wasn't acting niggardly, you wouldn't care. If you was righteous and you was doing right and trying to do right, then who cares about who watch you? And then the last movie is The Matrix. Everybody know about The Matrix. The resistance. They were resisting against the Matrix, that thing that kept them under control. Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement and civil disobedient movement was something that he initiated in India. But resistance is the refusal to accept or comply with something, the attempt to prevent something by action or argument. So we refuse to accept or comply with this crap they keep throwing on us. Do you know they got new laws? You know, dealing with if you commit a crime, whether you can get an I bond or not. But it just started January the 1st. But they didn't tell none of us about it. Did you get the email? Did any of us get an email or a text about these new laws? You know why we didn't get it? You see what I'm saying? Why would they warn the people that the laws are geared for or targeted to? Why would they warn you that it's coming? So they got these laws now. There was a young man that was at my house, left my house, friend of my son's, left my house, going to get in this car, got hit by a car, killed on the spot. The body was dead on the spot. He transitioned. And you know how I know he transitioned? A big, thick fog came on my block. It was only on my block. I got video on my phone just to prove it to y'all. Y'all can see it when we finish. I'm gonna show y'all. A big, thick fog came on my block that night and stayed there the whole night until morning. You're making this up. Okay, fine. See, we don't want to believe black people. If I was a college professor from Harvard or Yale, you would be eating every word I say because I qualify, you see, to stand here and tell you something. Well, what is your qualifications, Minister Omari? I'm a man of God. But these hacks done messed up that qualification, haven't they? They done messed up that qualification. I wonder, was it on purpose? You know, if you know that the real thing is coming, wouldn't you put a dummy bag out there or a false flagger to get people to have a bad taste in their mouth about you before you come? Now, come on, don't get me wrong. I am not the Christ. Hell no. Not me. I am not. But I am a man of God. And I serve God, and I represent him on this planet. And so are you. You are all agents of God. You just have to stand up and represent. Don't be afraid. Stop being afraid. And understand, if God allows heat on you, it's not because he left you. It's not because he has forsaken you. It's not because he is punishing you. It's because he's testing you to see if you are ready to crystallize yet or not. You know, almost just like, you know, when the, what's them people called? The blacksmith. How they heat up the sword and it be red and then they beat it. Then they take it out and they dip it in some water, right? Then they look at it. It's like, nope, need a little bit more heat. You stick it back into the fire. He's making a weapon. We are God's weapons. The whole planet is waiting on us. And let me tell you a secret, beloved. The revolution starts here in Chicago. This is the Mecca. Chicago is it. Everything is going to start right here. So I only got about 5 minutes. So I just want to talk about, well, I guess I'll start on the resistance this coming Wednesday. But y'all tune in. Ebony, we getting any people cussing me out? No. Oh, man, that's interesting. So at this time, I want to invite everyone within listening or the hearing of my voice. I want to invite you here to, on the 5th of February, we're having a grand opening here at Toma. We are recruiting resistance members. If you are interested in being a part of the resistance here in Chicago that's going to kick off revolution all over the planet Earth, because we got some backup. They ain't telling y'all this. But I want you all to do some research on something the white man started. And it's called the United Space Force. I think that's what it's called. United States Space Force. I think that's what it's called. But Google it. They initiated it during, I think it was during Trump's presidency. And I want you to ask yourself a question. They already got the Air Force. Why are they initiating a space force? They got the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force.
Spaceforce.com.
That's all you got to do, huh? Spaceforce.com. Just Google it. Look it up. They got all of these different forces. What do they need a space force for? I'm going to tell you. Because our help has come. They are out there. They call them UFOs, but they're not UFOs. And it was just one that watched over this galaxy or this area of the universe. But in 1999, another one showed up. And they sent a code out to all of their devil members all over the planet. And the code word was Y2K. Y2 craft. They told you it meant something else. But they saw 2 ships out there. But now there are hundreds of them out there. And they are on alert. Because they're wondering, are they about to attack us? And check out all the movies that are coming out about aliens in space. Check them all out because they're giving you their fear. They're putting in these movies what they are afraid of. They are out there, brothers and sisters. And some of us, a lot of us, I'm speaking black men and women now, black men, women, and children, some of us have their DNA in us along with human DNA. COVID was something they initiated and they launched it onto the planet Earth in order to identify those of us who have what they call alien DNA in us. Y'all marinate on that. I thank you all for listening. I'm going to leave you as I greeted you in the ancient but yet holy words of peace. Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, Ashe. And to my brothers and sisters on 79th Street, peace.
Well, that was a very interesting lecture. I was all up in there. I'm not going to ask you if you have learned something, because I know you have heard something today that you probably haven't heard anywhere else. So as Minister Omari said, we invite you to join us this Wednesday right here at 616 East 71st Street in Chicago, Illinois. Thank you so much for watching our broadcast today. If you would like to support our movement with a monetary donation, please feel free to support us on Cash App at TOMANATION. Once again, that's TOMANATION. And once again, I want to reiterate, you're more than welcome to join us for our grand opening on Sunday, February 5th at 3 p.m. right here at our new location, 616 East 71st Street. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you next week.
In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power.